Giannis Antetokounmpo just turned 30 years old, and he's already a lock for the Hall of Fame. Along with the individual accolades and a championship, Giannis will likely go down as the most physically dominant player of his era. So far this season, he's leading the NBA with just over 32.5 points per game, which is also a career best. He's getting his points in ways we're accustomed to, but has also added a new wrinkle that makes him even more dangerous. I'm going to take a deeper dive into Giannis's offensive game and show this new addition along with other aspects that make him such a dangerous player on that end of the floor. While people think of Antetokounmpo using his long strides to get out and transition to score, he can do much more than that. While it isn't the primary way he's used with the Bucks, he's also a dominant scorer out of pick and roll, where he's performed very well the past few seasons, and this year ranks in the 91st percentile on a per possession basis. This is an example of your typical Giannis pick and roll where he brings the ball up. Brook Lopez sets the screen at the top of the key, but the screener's defender Nikola Vucevic is to the left of Lopez. That spells trouble, as Vucevic is switched onto the ball here if Torrey Craig can't get through the screen. Now look what we have, just one or two dribbles into Giannis's drive. He has a head of steam, Craig doesn't get through the screen, and Vucevic has a lot of ground to make up. Not surprisingly, Giannis gets downhill with little resistance and makes the layup through contact. The future Hall of Famer also does a nice job creating for others out of pick and roll, where he ranks in the 90th percentile out of the action, including passes, though the Bucks' array of options from three can make him very dangerous out of the action. This possession starts with Damian Lillard running pick and roll with Brook Lopez before passing the ball to Giannis. The right as Giannis gets the ball, look at Gary Trent on the left elbow. He's setting a quick screen on Pascal Siakam and immediately runs to the top of the key. Giannis starts working his way downhill, but as he draws two defenders, Trent is still open at the top of the key. Giannis finds him, and he knocks down the open triple. Giannis has always been used frequently in isolation, though so far this has been his most efficient season to date out of the action. He currently ranks in the 81st percentile on a per possession basis, and ranks in the 94th percentile when including passes. This starts with Andre Jackson getting the ball on the perimeter, but Giannis sets a quick slip screen here. Now, when Jackson makes the pass, that leaves Giannis in isolation against Jared Allen. While the center's a very good defender, Giannis is too much to handle here. He lulls Allen to sleep with the crossover, and then turns on the Jets to get to the basket and convert the left handed layup. This clip is from earlier in the same game, where again Giannis is against Allen in isolation. This time, as he gets downhill, Donovan Mitchell rotates to help against the drive. Though, do you notice who Mitchell was defending prior to this? None other than Damian Lillard. Giannis gets deep into the paint, where he's created an advantage with the Cavaliers now having all five defenders in the paint, and there are various options to pass to on the perimeter. Though Giannis responds with an impressive behind the back pass to Lillard, who to no surprise knocks down the open three. Now, here's the new wrinkle I hinted at earlier. You know all the talk fans have had for years about Giannis not being able to shoot? That's starting to change. He's taking fewer threes this season, but is attempting more long twos and shots from the mid range, and has had impressive results. So far, he's converted 44 of 89 shots from 10 to 19 feet, which is just under 50%. Giannis has also been hitting these off the dribble, as he's knocked down 49% of his 2 point jumpers off the bounce. Most importantly, this gives yet another dimension defenses have to worry about. Giannis is bringing the ball up here, and look how the Hornets' defense is set as Pat Connaughton sets a screen into the left side of the paint. They're understandably sagging to sell out and prevent him from getting to the rim. Though if Giannis is hitting mid range jumpers at this rate, that isn't a guarantee to stop him either. As a result, Giannis is able to walk into what's essentially a warm up jumper and knocks it down. Here's another scary factor. Giannis is starting to hunt for these mid range jumpers. In this instance, Giannis is bringing the ball up here, and just 5 or so seconds into the shot clock, you think he might try and attack to get downhill before the defense and offense are fully set. That's not the case, as instead, he dribbles into a rhythm and knocks down the quick jumper. In this instance, Giannis is in isolation against Nikola Vucevic and backs out from his initial drive. After doing this, there's a moment where it appears Giannis is about to take a dribble into a jumper, which opponents given his recent shooting now have to respect. Instead, He attacks downhill, and in doing so, attracts two more defenders in the process. Though Giannis is aware of this and kicks it out to Brook Lopez, who knocks down the open corner three. There are still a few questions here that we'll get some answers to as the season goes on. Given that this is a smaller sample size compared to an entire career, how long will Giannis need to keep this shooting up before it becomes something opponents try to eliminate? The wild thing is, even if he did keep this up, opponents would gladly live with Giannis knocking down mid range jumpers at nearly 50%, given how efficient he is around the rim. Then Chris Middleton is scheduled to return soon, which not only takes some pressure off Giannis, but is another threat he can find off drives or incorporate on slips or ghost screens for open jumpers. After a rough start to the year, the Bucks have quietly worked their way up the Eastern Conference standings, and Giannis is playing some of the best basketball of his career. This offensive development as a mid-range marksman is still new, though if it holds up, would not only add a dimension for the Bucks, but eliminate some wear and tear from Giannis's physical game and potentially extend one of the more impressive individual runs we've seen in recent NBA history. If you made it this far, thank you. And if you enjoyed the video, don't hesitate to like and subscribe to stay up to date on my basketball analysis throughout the 2024-25 season.